You must pay for the blood of Biafrans you spilled at Umpo. You must pay for the massacre of Biafra in Iguacha. You know, people. You must pay for forcing the disappearance of over 40,000 Biafrans. You must pay for those who are dying in your dungeon on a daily basis. Believe me, you must pay. And this war is our own way. We dictate how we fight it. So Biafrans, when we assured you that the only thing that will stop this particular calamity from befalling Nigeria is one, they pull out every military checkpoint out of Biafra land. Two, they respond to the application we have filed at the Banjul court at the AU. Three, they claim that I am not reachable, that they want to negotiate with me and I'm not reachable. I have had that several. So, and I'm making myself available today that only country and only government that will summon me to negotiate with Nigeria for the freedom of Biafra will be Finland. They will be the mediator. And that is the only thing I have on the table. If it is not Finland to be a mediator, you can never negotiate with me. And negotiating with me is, first of all, pulling out the military out of the street, releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that you kidnapped from Kenya. You cannot be a kidnapper and condemn kidnapping in your country. You are the leader of the kidnappers. You went to Kenya and committed the international crime of kidnapping. And then when I listen to Nigerians who are, gullible, shouting, kidnappers in Enugu, kidnappers in Zamfara. Oh, Nigeria. Why should Nigeria do anything about it when they're actually leading the kidnapping business? Do you know how much they spent to go to Kenya to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Do you know how much they paid in ransom to people who gave information about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? You can see their activities on social media. Today, they change for every day. They say Simon Ekpa is working with Nigeria government. Simon Ekpa is working with Tinubu, thinking that when they blackmail me, all these things, they are going to succeed. Where are they today? They are gone.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are watching us from. It's another edition of Politics on the Street. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share, comment for more political discourse. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share, comment for more political discourse. Yesterday, Simon Ekpa has issued a directive to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said he will speak in the language that the president will understand. He has given the president a 7 days ultimatum for soldiers to vacate the southeastern part of Nigerians now. Nigerian soldiers has come out to say they are not the one killing. They are not the one killing people in the southeast. That the unknown government are the ones killing in the southeast. How can you answer this, sir?
I am Mr. Paradeni Okokondem in this Republic of Biafra. Leave Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his IPOB government of Biafra. Let us hold it there. You see, in this our politics on the streets or in the streets is where we preach the gospel of truth. We common people that are nothing in Nigeria. Now, Simon Ekpa, our God-given able Prime Minister of government of Biafra, Republic of Biafra in exile, have told the President of Nigeria, Ms. Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu, that he will speak in a language to him that he will understand. He referred to Mohammed, the ex-president or immediate past president of Nigeria, Alhaji Mohammed Buhari, retired general. As he spoke that time to Biafrans, that he will speak to us in a language we will understand. And he asked Nnamdi Kanu to stop agitation of Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu said no. Then he speak to us in a language we understood that time. He gave us Operation Pattern Dance. He gave us CKC, killing in Aba. He give us that Niger Bridge killing in Onitsha. He give us Mpo killing. He give us house to house kidnapping killing. Finally, he give us kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya and dump him in the prison. Unfortunately, when this current president, Mr. President of Nigeria, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, took in his campaign, he said he will stop where Buhari, he will start where Buhari stopped. Which means all the whole agenda of Buhari, all the whole program of Buhari, all the whole language of Buhari to crush Biafra, to stop Biafra, to kidnap our leaders or to destroy them, he will accomplish it.
Every day brings memories that shows us the whole story.
And in my former speech, I made people to know that this current president, not the cause, the beginning of persecution of Biafrans in this present dispensation, but it was Buhari government. But I said that time that this present president should absent himself from those things what have done against Biafra. Number one, he should release Nnamdi Kanu, set Nnamdi Kanu free, pay him a compensation that people got to say he should pay, and return him back to Kenya, and let Biafra go, so that when the judgment will come from God, it will not affect him. But he refused and continue where his predecessor handed him over. Now he continued to terrorize, embarrassing someone Ekpa, persuading Finland government to return him. Even it was in this regime that we had that their suicide squad was about to send to Finland to go and hijack, destroy someone Ekpa. And then we are stopped in Denmark before the information leaked. Now, as him, the town of Buhari was to speak in the to speak to Biafrans in the language we will understand. Now it's the turn of Biafrans to speak to this present government in the tune that themselves will understand. Now it's vice versa. That time was when Nnamdi Kanu was out, leading Biafra. Now, in the absence of Nnamdi Kanu, someone Ekpa have taken over. That time was IPOB, DOS. This time is IPOB, autopilot, Biafran government in exile. That time was the time of Tinubu, the time of Buhari. Now is the time of Tinubu. Now is the time of Biafra to speak to Nigerian government in the language that we understand.
And which language is that?
Now, the language Buhari speak to us in the old time was a language of water.
What is water?
Water. You may understand what water is mean. It's a proverb language.
Okay.
A word into word.
A word into word.
Yes, that's water.
Hope is not a violent language.
And that water lead to Operation Pattondas.
Okay.
That water lead to the killing in CKC Aba. That water killing in the Hell Bridge, Niger, in Onitsha, local government, and State. That water lead to the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. That water still leading army invasion of Biafran land today. That water lead to Okoma killing. You understand? Now, That time was the time of Buhari and Nnamdi Kanu. This time, Simon Ekpa, who God raised up to wear the shoe of Nnamdi Kanu in absence of Nnamdi Kanu, and now it's the time of the Biafran government in exile to speak to the language that this present administration will understand. And as Buhari give Nnamdi Kanu ultimatum to stop Biafran agitation. So now Simon Ekpa and Biafra government in exile have given ultimatum to the present regime, to the present president Ahmed Bola Tinubu of Nigeria, to with 7 days to withdraw
Soldiers
from the southeast.
Hello, this is Premium Pension. How can we help? Our ex.
but the president.
Otherwise, he will speak in a language that Nigeria will understand.
But the president is the commander-in-chief. Nobody dares him. Nobody gives him a directive. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Nobody directs him.
Nobody dares the president. He's the commander-in-chief.
Yes, nobody dare him. And Simon Ekpa is also Prime Minister of Biafra. A nation versus nation now.
But Biafra is not yet an independent nation, sir.
Biafra is not yet an independent nation, but it has a government. It has governments. When, before Nigeria become an independent nation, they operate in a full force. Before the independence, they finally got independent. So Biafra is operating. Mind you, that Biafra have been a nation since 1967.
Before Nigeria?
Biafra have been a nation since 1967.
Okay.
Our flag have raised up. People address Ojukwu that time as Commander-in-Chief of People's Army of Biafra. Now, Simon Ekpa is the Prime Minister of Biafra government in Leicester, and nobody dare him. Nobody dare him. Simon Ekpa is not a rebel. Simon Ekpa is not a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is not a bandit leader, but a leader of a nation in exile. Remember, Israel government was from in exile, and they returned back. You get me? So the language that someone will speak to the present government of Nigeria may be in a different mood.
Maybe in a different mood.
Maybe in a different mood. You know, we Biafrans, we don't love killing, but we are forced to defend ourselves.
We are forced to defend ourselves.
We are forced to defend ourselves. When you push somebody to the wall, and there's no way he can break the wall and get away, he will use the wall as his base to resist you, not to push him again.
To resist, not to push him again.
And he may have more force because now you have somewhere to rest. Now you are pushing him, but you don't have anywhere to rest. So any little force you put, you that are pushing him will fall.
Okay.
Because he rests somewhere. This is the type of language that Simon Ekpa will speak to this present government.
Okay, that is the kind of language Simon Ekpa will speak
To this present government.
this present government.
Now we have base where we rest. And they are pushing us. Eventually, we will push them, they will fall. And that's how it's going to be.
And
But it may, this pushing that we are going to push them, the language we speak, they will understand, maybe in a different form, in a way that even the tiny word, it will surprise them.
Even
by the grace of God.
Even you've listened to our guests on the analysis. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share, comment for more political discourse.
I am a product and a survival of children and the generation that were starved to death. And I am very, very angry. I'm very, very angry. Instead of that we cannot get this Biafra, I will turn to a beast. I will turn to a beast. I will become a beast. You see those children that you see, you count their ribs and their stomach are big. You see their stomachs running up every day. We came from them. This generation of Biafra, we come from them. We come from their survivors. And you know, I will be a beast. I will be a beast for Biafra to come. It doesn't matter what you think about it, but I'm telling you now today that 20 pounds, we are the product, the end product of 20 pounds each. We are the end product of Kwashoko. We came from Kwashoko. Malnutrition, starvation, genocide. But our grandchildren, our grandfather, our fathers, they survived it. They survived it.
Did you hear that? He said we are the product of 20 pounds. We are the product of 20 pounds. Look at it here. Look at it. This is not a joke. In fact, I'm going to show you from the website so that we can read it together. Because when you see it like this on your screen, some of you may think it's a Photoshop. Because on a fiaro, acquire Photoshop. You can see this is your news in 1971 after abandoned property. New decree, I want us to read together before we go to the website. New decree freezes all bank deposits in East states. This is what happened to Biafrans, irrespective of your millions in the bank. At the end of the war, each family, not each person, each family was given 20 pounds for your survival. This is our history. This is who we are. So I want us to go straight and read it from websites that you may understand that this is never a Photoshop. Some of the doubting Thomases may say, na Biafra thing, na we do. No, this is our history. It is good that we dig deeper since we are approaching the 2nd of December. Since we are approaching the redeclaration of Biafra on 2nd of December 2024, it is good that we refresh our memories and, of course, go back to our history in order to remind us who we are and how we survived the brutal genocidal war against the Biafran people carried out by Nigeria federal government led by Yakubu Gowon. I want this very broadcast today to be saved. It has to be saved. Do not trust the platforms we are using. Those of you who are following us, save this very broadcast today for future purposes. Now, let's listen to the Prime Minister once again, and then I'll take you to the website.
I will be a beast. I will be a beast for Biafra to come. It doesn't matter what you think about it, but I'm telling you now today that 20 pounds, we are the product, the end product of 20 pounds each. We are the end product of Kwashoko. We came from Kwashoko. Malnutrition, starvation, genocide. But our grandchildren, our grandfather, our fathers, they survived it.
We are the end product of 20 pounds. Each family, not even each person, each family. We haven't even talked about the genocide, which he talked about. We are not talking about the Kwachokos, malnutrition. We are not talking about them. Right now, we are talking about how we survived 20 pounds each family, which you are seeing on the screen. Now, let us see and read together from the website so that you don't say, this is, Photoshop. Biafra people, they have come with their propaganda. No, look at it here. Furthermore, General Gowon initiated the 3-hours program after the war, but covertly set out policies aimed at extracting war indemnity from the vanquished. War indemnity from the vanquished. Who were the vanquished? The Biafran people. Now, this includes, pay attention, the obnoxious banking decree of 1970. The decree froze all bank deposits in the eastern states during war years. Are you paying attention, my people? Are you paying attention? Let me read that again. The obnoxious banking decree of 1970. The decree froze all bank deposits in the eastern states during war years. I don't know how to explain it, but let me continue. The Igbo were made to collect only 20 pounds, not minding the amount deposited hitherto and tabellium. I don't know if anybody is listening to me. The Igbo were made to collect only 20 pounds, not minding the amount deposited hitherto and tabellium. A similar decree was the indigenization decree of 1972, which robbed the Igbo of greater opportunity. The case was so with the ban on second-hand clothing and stockfish. Listen, the case was so with the ban on second-hand clothing and stockfish, an enterprise that was mainly dominated by the Igbo. An enterprise that was mainly dominated by the Igbo people. Yet, the Gowon government justified the ban as a means to encourage local textile industries and to maintain the pride of the country. And the ban on stockfish will not be lifted because the fish in Nigeria has more nutritious value and the government must conserve her foreign exchange earnings. Did you get that? The fish in Nigeria has more nutritious value and the government must conserve her foreign exchange earnings. So they say that the fish in the zoo has more nutritious value. In other words, the Atlantic Ocean that passed through the Eastern Zoological Republic as at then, which is the coastal region of Biafra as it stands today, is different from the Atlantic Ocean that passed through the other countries down to the southern part of Africa. That is what they are telling us. That's why the fish in this same ocean that pass almost throughout the world is different and more nutritious than others. Only to put an Igbo man down. Only to put a Biafran man in perpetual slavery, that you may never rise again. They never knew that the reverse is always the case. Now they said here, the gradual destruction of the Igbo technological ingenuity after the war was another policy the Gowon-led government adopted to subjugate the Igbo. Remember, no be me write this thing that I'm reading, okay? It is written by an African and international journalist and media platform, not me. They continued, recall that the necessities of the war had pushed the Igbo into indigenous technological innovations and development. There were local refineries, distilleries, arms production, and research development which culminated with innovations like Ogbunigwe, rockets, explosive, mortars, anti-tank weapons, anti-aircraft guns, landmines, and others. This technological transformation was not encouraged by the government after the war. Rather, they were submerged. I want every Biafran to pay attention to this. Rather, they were submerged. Gowon's policies after the war were undoubtedly the last nail in the coffin of Igbo technological potential. Have you seen the reason why we must exit the zoo? Because they will never, you see this, there's a way Fulanis do their things. You must understand. Fulanis are not like, the Biafran people or other, educated, tribes. They are these people that have one dimension. They follow the laid down rules and roads that were followed by their ancestors. That is Fulani for you. That's why till today, they are still believing in the promises of Uthman Danfodio that somehow they are going to conquer the entire zoological republic, conquer Biafra land, and dip their Quran in Atlantic Ocean. That's why they are still believing that nonsense till today, even till tomorrow. That's why you still have what is called jihadists today. They will go to the village and massacre people, chase the remaining ones away, and occupy their village and their ancestral homes. That's why you still see those things today. Because Fulanis are a one-dimensional tribe. They follow the laid down rules and regulations and the roads being followed by their ancestors. They don't change. They don't have this mentality of civilization that, people can come up and change some old and archaic, methodology and way of life. They don't believe those things. They don't believe it. So since these rules have been made right from then, they still believe in it. If I read further, you will see a place where they said, because of the loss of the war, the North has made it impossible for an Igbo man to rule or to have power in Nigeria again. If I read further, maybe during my live broadcast, I'm going to do this. I will read the whole story. And since then, the Fulani, the Northerners, will do everything humanly possible to make sure that an Igbo man never rule Nigeria. The one that happened in 2023 is a case study. P2B is a case study. Because of what? They are following the same laid down orders, rules, and regulation that was laid by their, forefathers. After the war, they said they will never allow Igbo man to rule Nigeria again, to smell power again. It's here. It is here. They actually said it. But because this is very long, I cannot be able to read all of it. In conclusion, let us touch this place in conclusion. I was in a meeting sometime in the past with Biafrans. I think that was in one of the fundraisings. And a Biafran elder was speaking. As he was talking, he began to appeal to our people in the coastal region to come out and support the Biafra liberation. And then he began to, appeal to them in a way of apologizing to them, asking them not to be angry anymore on the Igbo people. And he said that Igbo soldiers during the war buried their brothers. And that is why they are angry with us. And I have to correct him, because even though I am not an elder, I still have experience about what happened during the war, because I read the history. And my father and my mother told me every single thing that I needed to know about the war, because they fought the war. They saw the war. Right? Now, I told him that it's a lie, that Igbo soldiers never buried our people in the coastal region. It was a propaganda. It was a propaganda being carried out by the Zoo media in conjunction with Britain, in order to discredit us, in order to make them change their mind and stop supporting Biafra. And those who knew about this, those who were in that same meeting that very day, please, if you hear this very news, let me know in the comment section. Now let us read here. It says, in as much as Biafra had few foreign supports when compared to Nigeria, the latter had embarked on international propaganda to deride the efforts of few foreign support the former had established. Gowon government accused Tanzania of supplying arms and training guerrilla fighters for the Biafra region to carry out subversive activities in Nigeria, and that most of Ojukwu's emissaries traveled with Tanzania passports. Now pay attention. Similarly, war propaganda had it that France also supplied arms to Biafra through a body called Biafra Historical Research Association. Similarly, this is all propaganda. France never supplied arms to Biafra, although France verbally supported Biafra, but they never supplied arms to Biafra. Now, Mr. Norris, pay attention, we have gotten to that level. Mr. Norris of the London Times publication alleged that about 200 Ibibios were murdered in a barbaric way on April 2nd, 1968 by the rebels in front of a hotel at Umuahia on the suspicion that they were collaborating with the advancing federal troops. Despite these challenges faced by the Biafra, the new state had demonstrated uncommon innovations, military tactfulness, technological inventions, including rockets, anti-tanks, and Obunigwe, etc., and scientific ingenuity. Such military ingenuity and strategy were critically exemplified at the Abagana battle in 1968, where the federal troops, led by Colonel Murtala Mohammed, with 96 vehicles of supplies and troops, that the Biafrans stood no chance of survival. No chance of survival. However, with the aid of locally made military hardware such as Obunigwe, Major Jonathan Uchendo was able to ambush the Nigeria Amanda and deal a devastating blow to it. Hence, the Nigeria disaster at Abagana replenished Biafrans' already depleted supplies and ammunition. You get that? So now, this is the word that I want you to pick. The word that I want you to pick is here. Mr. Norris of the London Times publication alleged that about 200 Ibibios were